India-bound Australia and Japan PMs, China is the elephant in the room. Chinese belligerence in the Indo-Pacific will be one of the main agendas as Australian PM Anthony Albanese and Japan PM Fumio Kishida arrive in India this month. In the backdrop of China hiking its military budget by a whopping 7.2% to $225 billion, Quad allies Australia and Japan are bound for India to deepen defense and economic cooperation, even with Beijing's no-limit ally Russia hitting out at the informal yet powerful Forum of India, US, Australia and Japan.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.
Yet powerful Forum of India, US, Australia and Japan. While Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is scheduled to visit India from March 8 to 11, Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is arriving in Delhi on March 19 for a one-day official visit on March 20. Both countries are very close partners of India, with late Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually co-founders of revived Quad. Although the three countries along with the US have a very close relationship with information exchange on virtually any topic, the hot topic of discussion this time will be forging defense cooperation and setting up resilient global supply chains due to the ongoing Ukraine war and Chinese belligerence in the Indo-Pacific. The Xi Jinping regime has hiked its military budget to $225, which is more than the combined budgets of India, $73 billion, Australia, $48.7 billion, and Japan, $51 billion. To make matters worse, the Chinese military budget is higher than the released figure, as revenues from its growing military-industrial complex are plowed back into military spending, and this figure also runs into billions of USDs. The strategic intent of the increased spending is to prepare China against three major dangers: invaded, read Taiwan, toppled, read Xinjiang or Xinjiang, and separated, read Tibet. The picture of which countries China considers as adversaries becomes clear, as any military emergency over Senkaku Islands or neighboring Taiwan will seriously impact Japan, and military consolidation in Tibet and Xinjiang will put pressure on India. Backed by ambitious Beijing, the Chinese PLA is in an expansionist mode and is running into friction with Australia as Xi Jinping forges military cooperation in the far Pacific and along with Russia has hit out at the AUKUS alliance. The AUKUS alliance will strengthen Australia's maritime capability by providing Canberra with nuclear-powered conventionally armed submarines to patrol its area of influence. Albeit the situation all along the 3,488 kilometers line of actual control, LAC, with China is stable, there has been no de-escalation of PLA forces from the border since Beijing tried to unilaterally change the ground situation in May 2020 in East Ladakh. While the Indian opposition parties are trying to provoke the Modi government into some misadventure with China, the Indian army is all prepared for any emergency with its plans in case of a worst-case scenario. Among India, Australia, and Japan, Indo-Pacific is one of the main agendas, with expansion of Chinese Navy and its intermediate-range conventional and nuclear missile arsenal a main concern. Over the years, Chinese strategic surveillance ships are consistently mapping the Indian Ocean bed and the Lombok and Ambivatar ingress routes to South China Sea, as the nuclear or conventional submarines have to surface if crossing into Indian Ocean via Sunda or Malacca Straits from South China Sea. The Lombok and Ambivatar channels, close to Australia, are deep enough to handle submarines without the surfacing requirement. While India, Australia, and Japan have a logistics agreement and are part of the Malabar naval exercises, the military cooperation between India and Japan will only deepen if Tokyo sheds its pacifist doctrine and decides to share advanced military technology such as lithium-ion technology for diesel attack submarines with New Delhi. Given the geographical locations of the three countries, close defense cooperation will enforce mutual security and act as a deterrent to the expansionist forces in the Indo-Pacific. Logistics agreement and are part of the Malabar naval exercises. The military cooperation between India and Japan will only deepen if Tokyo sheds its pacifist doctrine and decides to share advanced military technology such as lithium-ion technology for diesel attack submarines with New Delhi. Given the geographical locations of the three countries, close defense cooperation will enforce mutual security and act as a deterrent to the expansionist forces in the Indo-Pacific.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and click our bell icon for new videos.